What's up, guys? It's Jacob the Bear Finnerty, strongest guy you never heard of, and you're watching World's Strongest Fan.
Hey guys, welcome back again, and first up it's Boyd Francis. He said the beer and curry night before events is apparently good for hitting a personal best, and that's 86 kilos or 189 pounds. Next up we've got another athlete. This is Joe Oliver. He says he feels this is a bit of a weird event, but definitely got more in the tank. That stone to shoulder is 150 kilos or 330 pounds. Now someone else working on stones is the current England's strongest man Ryan Bennett. He said, playing around yesterday to see how to shoulder a stone. It's a great test and even better if you're using some stones made by Atlas Endurance. Looking forward to building on this in a couple of weeks' time, and that is 160 kilos or 352 pounds. Now moving away from a stone and onto a sack, here is Nico Chaprales. He says the bar has been set, boys. The weight 432.75 pounds. This is a sandbag to shoulder. Who's my huckleberry? I'd love to go higher if anyone has the balls to push me. And if you think that's something, just wait until my deadlift submission happens next week. His trip through hell in the last 8 months have made him hungrier than ever. Now next up we move into some bench press, and here is Dylan Hellregal. He says, I'll tell you what, it feels good to hit this number again for the first time in over 3 years. That's 200 kilos or 441 pounds for 2 reps. We now move into some overhead pressing, and here is Alex Simon out in Base Gym. He said, this was so stressful. This was the accessories today after my bench press work. I was under strict instructions, if I get the tiniest of head rushes, to dump the bar immediately. He really wanted 10 reps, but unfortunately he finished up with 9, but that's pretty good going. Next up we move into the log, and here is Nadia Stowers using a one motion or viper press technique. The weight is 102 kilos or 225 pounds for 2 reps. Next up it's Dr. Greg Inocencio. He says, here's 325 for 1 rep in the House of Cats and Lats gym. He hasn't gone over 300 pounds since August of last year, so he's a bit rusty but not terrible. Here's a clip from Strongman Ben Williams. He's an awesome presser. The weight of the log today is 160 kilos or 352 pounds. Next up it's powerlifter turned strongman Luke Nall. He said he's deloaded the volume and ramped up the intensity. He's also not using any supportive gear. The weight on this log is 190.5 kilos or 420 pounds. Next up we join strongman Jordan Larson. He says it's the first time ever pressing a Slater log, and it was awesome. He just took 421 pounds for a ride and went for a double but stumbled. He's just not used to the weight distribution. We now move into some squatting, and first up it's strong woman Rhiannon Lovelace. This is not a personal best, she's actually hit 400 pounds before in wraps, but she's currently working towards the same weight, just using sleeves. Now here's Mateusz Kieliszkowski, still working on his comeback. The weight on the squat, 200 kilos or 441 pounds for 4 reps. Up next it's Steve Tripp. He's an awesome powerlifter and strongman. He's doing 331 kilos or 730 pounds. He says it's his top single, and it's very much like a World's Strongest Man squat, down to the pads and back up to the rack. Next up we join powerlifter Daniel Bell. He says it's his first day back, still in the groove and waiting to hit this peak again, with a full head of steam. He's making these squats look really easy, and he rounds out the first half of today's video.
Easy. Easy, lightning, come on. Easy, come on. All the way out, all the way.
Now we're into the second part of today's video, and we kick off with a moving event. First up it's Matthew McKeegan. He says he's back moving around with weights again. The weight, 330 kilos or 727.5 pounds. Next up we've got some deadlifting. Here is powerlifter Susanna Toth, pulling 200 kilos or 441 pounds. It's a good lockout and she's really strong. Next up it's Joe Oliver again. He says he was really happy with this. 310 kilos was very difficult for him not so long ago for a single. After a couple of tweaks, his deadlifts are flying, and that's 310 kilos or 683 pounds for 3 reps. Next up, it's our intro guy, Jacob Finity. He built up to a max weight of 770 pounds. He said, getting changes to his form, but he's still feeling good. Here's a clip from Sean Shoemaker. He says this is his official Strongman Games deadlift qualifier. The weight, 356 kilos or 785 pounds for 3 reps. He says I have zero intention on repeating any of his lifts, so hopefully he can get all of them done. Next up, it's powerlifter Yangsu Ren, pulling in a sumo stance, a weight of 358 kilos or 790 pounds. Here's a clip from Tyler Cotton. He says he went beltless on his way into work, getting ready for the up-and-coming competitions he has planned, and he's feeling dangerous. Next up, it's Jordan Larson, pulling 370 kilos or 815 pounds. Now he's back again, it's powerlifter turned strongman Luke Nall. He says, pretty big deadlift day. Hit my qualifier for the official Strongman Games, and it was raw, just a little FYI. Now the weight is 370 kilos or 815 pounds for 3 reps, and that's actually a personal record for Luke. Next up, we join powerlifter Yuri Belkin, pulling in a sumo stance, a weight of 380 kilos or 838 pounds. Next up, we join another powerlifter. This is Tom Martin. He said, this is the biggest one in years. Probably frustrating to absolutely not go up to 400 kilos next week, but he's learnt a few lessons and some stuff about long-term progression, so he's just not going to try and hurt himself right now. Next up, it's Alex Knight, working on a silver dollar deadlift. It's 3 reps at 405 kilos or 892 pounds. He really wanted more, but it was getting a bit hot. Here's a clip from Ivan Makarov, pulling 430 kilos or 948 pounds for 2 reps in preparation for the World Deadlift Championships. Next up, it's powerlifter Jamal Browner, pulling sumo. He says, this is the last single of the training block, and then it's deload next week. The weight, 435 kilos or 959 pounds. Now up next, it's another really great deadlifter. It's Rauno Heinla, pulling the unofficial Masters World Record in the deadlift. The weight, 450 kilos or 992 pounds. He said it felt hard, but he's still happy it went up. Now rounding out today's video, we join Gabriel Pena, the Texas Titan, also working on his deadlift for the World Deadlift Championships, hoping to pull 505 kilos. The weight on the bar today is 363 kilos or 800 pounds for 3 reps, and he's looking pretty strong. Anyway guys, that's it from me today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe, and I'll catch you again as always on the next one.